I think the brands that people say that they have the most affection with, they feel that there's something more. So I don't think people look at Nike and say it's a sneaker company.
No.
And that for me is the vision of where I want sort of Seven to sit, and that's going to take time. But the fact of the matter is we drive mass cultural moments every single day.
So it's Sophia Garrity for B&T TV here, and I'm joined by Mel Hopkins, CMO at Seven. Hi, Mel.
Hey, how are you?
Good. So you've been at Seven for 8 months now. What about marketing TV did you think needed to change when you joined?
I think when I joined, I didn't really think that TV, if I'm honest, marketed itself brilliantly at all. The brands, and when I talk about brands like Seven or indeed our competitors, I think have been sort of all become empty types of vessels, and they were really good on showcasing programs. But you know, one of the things I said to James when I first started, that I thought it was just amazing that, you know, I'd work with the sales team and amazing people like Kurt that would work with me on how to build out my brand so my brand could integrate with Australians and drive business outcomes, but I didn't see the same thing in return. So it's been fab just getting in there and just putting a little bit of basic marketing smarts to it all.
And you said they're sort of like empty vessel. I mean, can you go in a bit more like sort of like what you meant by that?
Sure. I mean, you know, 25 years ago, Seven as a brand was loved the same way a Bunnings is loved in this market, or indeed, you know, in its heyday, a Google or a Meta. And you know, at its worst, it becomes a platform. You know, so Seven's always been known for being brilliant, and even currently with its news and sport, and it has amazing tentpole moments. But I think the job is to ensure that people come to Seven for exploratory viewing, just not destination viewing, and that they feel that they've got a connection with it as a brand.
And one of the changes you made, so you've been working with Emotive for marketing for Seven. I mean, what's it been like working with them?
Look, I adore Emotive, and I enjoy working with Joycey and that entire team. I think, again, you know, I'm very passionate and supportive about hybrid models of in-house agencies, and we've got Seven Creative are unbelievable. I'm in awe with what they do, but the importance of having people that aren't so ingrained in your business every day, that consider consumers outside just consuming your category, is super, super, super important. And that is what Emotive does. So we're loving having them on board, and they're absolutely pushing the boundaries and the envelope, but most importantly, partnering with Seven Creative brilliantly as well.
And I guess this would be one for B&T viewers. I mean, you know, you said there the benefits of bringing that external kind of vision in. Have you got any more plans to work with other agencies?
Sure. I mean, look, we already have some great relationships on the go. So which is part of M&C Saatchi Group, whom I had a great relationship with at Optus, have been doing some amazing work with us. Forethought, amazing sort of insights and marketing science business we've also brought in. And, you know, most recently, it's been amazing that, you know, VaynerMedia are on board to see how we can sort of supercharge what we're doing. So for me, it's about bringing together a assembly of great minds versus big agencies to supercharge us forward. And I think it's really important always to have alternate views with people from alternate categories to push the direction of where we're going.
And you said before that you kind of want Seven to be seen as more than just a content company. Yeah. And obviously, I guess when I think of Seven, I kind of do think content probably.
Absolutely.
Sort of, what do you mean sort of by that, kind of more than a content company?
I think the brands that people say that they have the most affection with, they feel that there's something more. So I don't think people look at Nike and say it's a sneaker company.
No.
And that for me is the vision of where I want sort of Seven to sit, and that's going to take time, but the fact of the matter is we drive mass cultural moments every single day amongst Australians, and we reach more Australians than it's a sort of a bit of a thing that I'm pushing out in market at the moment than any other platform. And I don't want us just to be seen as a content provider. I want us to be seen as a brand that people have a deep affinity with. I don't think there's a lot of content brands globally that have really achieved that. But, you know, hey, I'm ambitious and I like to shoot for the stars, and I think that people having an enduring connection with us and what we stand for actually will put us in great stead for sort of commercial sustainability going forward.
So you mentioned a bit earlier on about obviously how Seven was seen 20 years ago, and I guess like a lot has changed now. We've got all the, you know, YouTube, TikTok and everything like that. I mean, what's your kind of like vision for how you want Seven to be seen in the market as it is today?
Well, I guess there's sort of two target audiences. There's obviously a trade audience that we've got to take on the journey with where we are and our stature, and in a really highly fragmented media world, the reach and impact we still receive, and how we're a good ingredient with all the other sort of media channels. And then I think for consumers, it's about a destination that they believe that they can go in and explore and find new things that they didn't think were possible. Sadly, the view of a lot of free-to-air has been that it's pretty obvious what the slate is. There's limited discovery. You watch something and you switch off. You look at platforms like sort of 7+, where 70% of the content is exclusive to 7+, and it's like choose your own adventure. You can get lost and explore in unbelievable content. So I think it is about demonstrating to Australia that it's a really strong platform of content made and devised and developed for Australians, and guess what? You don't have to pay a sub for it.
That's all we've got time for. Mel, thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you so much.
And thank you for watching B&T TV.